This is the AB4WS radio show. Every week, bringing you the exciting amateur radio news and information happening in the greater Cincinnati, Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana areas.
The AB4WS radio show can be found on the Apple Podcast app or your favorite podcast application. Well, many of the clubs who participated in Winter Field Day last weekend had great success. Bluegrass Amateur Radio Society was featured on WKYT News for their Winter Field Day operation for the importance of amateur radio and emergency preparedness, and how Winter Field Day is a great example illustrating the importance of amateur radio in emergency circumstances. David Richardson, W9KHZ, did a great job being interviewed and discussing the role ham radio plays. Club gained 1,500 points for not using commercial power, 1,500 points for setting up outdoors, and 1,500 points for setting up away from home, for a total of 4,500 points, plus giving K4LJQ a total score of 6,804 points. Great job. The Kentucky Colonels Amateur Radio Club also had an awesome field day event, logging 132 contacts in the cold, wet winter weather. Ray Smith, WB4ZDU, the net manager for the KYN and the Kentucky CW Traffic Net, which meets every night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on 3537 kHz, is looking for some amateur radio operators in the northern Kentucky area to participate in the event. For more information on how you can help out, email WB4ZDU@AOL.com. The KPIG group continues to work on the project of moving the repeaters to the new site. The new repeater location will be called the Tom and Deb Case K8CLA and N8BVI Memorial Repeater Site. They have placed a placard made up at each site showing all the KPIG affiliated repeaters in a tribute to Tom and Deb. The Queen City Emergency Net had their elections, and congratulations to the newly elected officers of President Scott Tengen, W8GXR, Vice President M. Rhodes, N8MCR, Steve Emhoff. W8SCI was elected to the director for a 2-year term. Continuing in their roles is Secretary Rob Blocker, N8JMB, Treasurer Bob Ross, W8NFM, Communications Manager Steve Lewis, N8TFD, and Director Francis Smith, N8PEE, on second year of the term. The Harrison County Amateur Radio Club held elections, and congratulations to the following who were elected: President Rick Maddox, Vice President Ron Malinowski, Secretary C.J. Clifford, and Board of Directors Trudy Barton, Delbert Wilson, and Connor Marshall. Their goal for the year is to bring 10 new licensed operators to the hobby and their club. On February 5th, the Bluegrass Amateur Radio Society will have their meeting at 7 p.m. at the Red Cross Building, 1450 Newtown Pike in Lexington, Kentucky, where they'll have a demonstration on the EZNEC antenna modeling software. On February 8th at 7:30 p.m., the Queen City Emergency Net will hold their meeting at the Red Cross Building on Dana Avenue in Cincinnati, Ohio. How time flies when you're having fun. Can you believe that the Brunch Bunch group has been meeting for 13 years? Well, the 13th anniversary Brunch Bunch will be held on February 10th at 1 p.m. at the Price Hill Chili Family Restaurant, 4920 Glenway Avenue in Price Hill, Ohio. Come on out and help them celebrate this monumentous anniversary. The Dixie Heights High School Amateur Radio Club, KY4DH, is gearing up for the ARRL School Club Roundup on February 12th through the 16th. They're working hard again to improve that score from the fall of last year. Make sure you mark your calendar and give every effort to work the kids at KY4DH during the February School Club Roundup. For more information on the School Club Roundup, go to ARRL.org/school-club-roundup. The Northern Kentucky Amateur Radio Club will hold their meeting on February 15, 2024 at 7 p.m. at the Bethesda Community Church, 989 East Mount Zion Road in Independence, Kentucky. The Ohio Aries District 10 will host the Ohio Aries Conference on February 17th from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Tri-Point Medical Center, 7590 Auburn Road in Paynesville, Ohio. The Ham Radio Science Citizen Investigation, known as HAMSCI, will hold their 6th annual workshop on March 22nd and 23rd at the Case Western Reserve University in Cleveland, Ohio. This event is meant to bring together the amateur radio community and professional scientists. For more information, go to hamsci.org.
Do you know where the action's at?
Well, on Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, the action is on 28.430 for the Cincinnati Area 10 Tuners net. You don't have to be a member of the Cincinnati Area 10 Tuners or 1010 International to participate in the net. Listen out for the usual net control Jack, W8OSK, to check in. He always welcomes new participants to the net. Check-ins for the net usually come from the greater Cincinnati area, with check-ins from all three area states, including Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana. The Cincinnati Area 10 Tuners have been around for years. I was first a member of the group back in the 80s when I met them at the yearly luncheon at the Hare Arena at the Dayton Hamvention. I made friends with many of the members, and unfortunately many have become silent keys, but the organization is still thriving. Check out the C.A.T.T Facebook page and tune in on 28.430 on Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. for where the action is.
Repeater news.
The 145.170 repeater with a PL tone of 136.5 in Beaver Dam, Kentucky is back on the air after being off for many years. The power output is 25 watts and seems to be covering most of Daviess County. The Frankfort, Kentucky DMR Repeater on 442.875 is on the air. It uses a color code of 8. For complete information to program your radio, go to KentuckyDMR.com webpage. The KK4CZ Repeaters of 441.350 with a DPL of 654 and the 145.410 with a PL tone of 151.4 and remote receiver of 654 DPL are back on the air. The 6-meter repeater 53.410 is still off the air currently.
Hamfessts.
On March 10, 2024, the Northern Ohio Amateur Radio Society brings in Winter Hamfest at the Lorain County Community College, 1005 North Abbey Road in Elyria, Ohio. On March 16, 2024, the Sevierville County Amateur Radio Society sponsors the 2024 Sevierville, Tennessee Hamfest at the Sevier County Fairgrounds, 754 Old Knoxville Highway in Sevierville, Tennessee. On March 17, 2024, is the Toledo Mobile Radio Association Hamfest and Computer Fair at the Owens Community College, 30335 Oregon Road in Perrysburg, Ohio.
Are you looking to upgrade your license? Do you have someone else that's interested in the hobby? Here are some upcoming exam opportunities.
General license classes are being offered via Zoom starting on Saturday, February 10, 2024. They'll meet each Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to about noon Eastern Time. They'll discuss all 10 sub-elements by April 13th and have a review on April 20th and then conduct an official exam on April 27th in Heath, Ohio. For more information, contact Earl Pazig, W8BR, at 740-504-1950. The Cuyahoga Amateur Radio Society will be offering ham radio licensing classes beginning Thursday, February 29, 2024 at 6:30 p.m. There'll be 6 sessions held each Thursday and a special VE session on the 7th week, April 11, 2024. There will be 3 separate classes, Technician, General, and Amateur Extra. Classes will be held at the Seven Hills Community Room, 7325 Summit View Drive in Seven Hills, Ohio. Cost of the classes is $20. The General class is free to all CARS members. Anyone interested in registering for a class should contact Toby Coleman, WT80, at WT80@ATT.net or 444-525-6109. The Milford Amateur Radio Club holds amateur radio testing on the 3rd Thursday of each month at 6 p.m. at the Miami Township Civic Center, 6101 Meyer Drive in Milford, Ohio. Please pre-register at milfordhamradio.org. The Dayton Amateur Radio Association has exams frequently. For their exam schedule, email exams.w8bi@gmail.com. On February 3rd, the Lake County Amateur Radio Association will be sponsoring an amateur radio testing session at noon at the Kirtland Library, 9267 Chillicothe Road in Kirtland, Ohio. For more information, contact Scott Farnham, KO80, at 440-256-0320 or email him at SCOTTFARNHAM@roadrunner.com. On February 3rd at 10 a.m., the Silver Creek Amateur Radio Association will hold an amateur radio license testing session at the Wayne County Justice Center, 201 West North Street in Wooster, Ohio. The Western Kentucky DX Association will sponsor an amateur radio license testing session on February 4th, 2024 at 2 p.m. at the Woodman Life Building, 519 Old Morgantown Road in Bowling Green, Kentucky. For more information, email Henry, W4HTB at W4HTB@IEEE.org or call him at 270-793-4822. On February 10th, 2024 at 10 a.m., the Bluegrass Amateur Radio Society will be giving an amateur radio license exams at the Red Cross Building, Classroom A, 1450 Newtown Pike in Lexington, Kentucky. Please pre-register at hamstudy.org/sessions/KE4MAI. For more information, contact Fernie Williams, KE4MAI, at 859-536-3393. On February 10, 2024 at 10 a.m., there'll be an amateur radio license exam session sponsored by the Westchester Amateur Radio Association at the Voice of America Museum, 8070 Tylersville Road in Westchester, Ohio. Please pre-register at hamstudy.org/sessions/WC8VOA. February 15, 2024, the Milford Amateur Radio Club will host an amateur radio exam session at 6 p.m. at the Miami Township Civic Center, 6101 Meyer Drive in Milford, Ohio. Pre-registration is required. Pre-register at milfordamradio.org. On February 25th at 1:30 p.m., the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club will hold an amateur radio exam session at the Cuyahoga Falls Public Library, 2025 2nd Street in Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio. Pre-registration is required by calling 330-928-8921 or email education@cfarc.org. On March 9, 2024 at 10 a.m., there'll be an amateur radio license exam session at the Georgetown Police Department, 550 Bourbon Street in Georgetown, Kentucky. Please pre-register at hamstudy.org/sessions/WX4GPS. For more information, contact Ron Malinowski, WX4GPS at 502-542-8252. Special thanks to this week's content contributors, KY4GW, WB8YYS, KD8ZLD, K9HIO, N8LAR, K4NK.
If you have something you think other amateur radio operators in the area would be interested in, send the information or your recorded audio file attached in an email to ab4ws.radio@gmail.com.
Covering your amateur radio news and information in the greater Cincinnati, Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana area, this is Jack Prindle, AB4WS in Big Bone, Kentucky.